Tupac, my brother, was king of the hill, top dog, king of rap. And with it comes a lot of jealousy.
Oh wait, maybe I said that because he got Tupac killed.
That's pretty direct there from 50 Cent.
Yes, it was.
You know, and I know, that everyone believes that Diddy was involved in both these shootings. That is what the streets have said for 27 years.
We all were familiar with all the rumors and stuff. I said, yeah, let me talk to him.
What did he say that day when he called you?
You know, I had my guys with me, Thug Life guys, and we heard what he had to say. He basically said he ain't have nothing to do with my brother's murder.
We don't talk about things that are nonsense.
Do you think he was lying?
Quite possibly, and it's kind of looking that way. Here we are 27, 28 years later. The theory involving him is quite high on the list. Our family, you know, we still suffer. He was all wrapped up, but he was still shaking the bed. He really wanted to tell me something. I'm assuming it was something that had to do with the hit.
I get the feeling quite strongly that you don't believe Diddy. I don't think you believe a word of it.
It seems like he got a whole bunch of power, like absolute power. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
What's your message to Sean Combs? Tupac Shakur was American hip-hop's brightest light until he was shot 4 times in a drive-by attack in 1996. His death shocked the world, and Tupac's legend has only grown since his murder, along with the fever speculation about who planned it, who ordered it, and who did it. For 27 years, it was one of America's highest-profile unsolved crimes until finally, a year ago, Duane Keefe D Davis was charged. He'd bragged about being inside the Cadillac from which the fatal shots were fired, albeit not by him, and awaits trial as the last surviving suspect. But there are many unanswered questions and a tangled web of claims embroidering notorious figures and an infamous East Coast-West Coast gang rivalry. Many people speculate that this web entangles P. Diddy. Sean Combs is, of course, facing trial on a battery of charges, including sex trafficking and racketeering. With his alleged crimes under the spotlight, members of Tupac's family have this week hired an investigator to examine the links between Diddy and the murder. And joining me now is Tupac Shakur's brother, Mopreme. Well, Mopreme, thank you very much indeed for joining me.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. I don't know what time it is there.
It's like early evening in the UK. Are you in LA?
Currently.
Yeah.
Shout out to all of my people across the pond.
Well, it's great to have you here on Uncensored. Be very keen to talk to you because obviously a lot has happened to P. Diddy in recent weeks. He's now languishing in prison. Let me start, first of all, your reaction to what's happened to him.
My reaction is that it's a mess, you know, and in which, you know, I have nothing to do with, but I wanted to make it clear that the family is pursuing an investigation into my brother's death. Wherever the investigation leads, that's where it leads. It is not about that guy specifically. It's about justice for my brother.
You were Tupac's older stepbrother. And I want to, just for the benefit of viewers who may not be familiar with your brother, with what happened, with the rivalry, and obviously his subsequent murder, just very quickly paint me a picture of how all this happened.
Well, for many years, you know, as far as the hip-hop rap world goes, you know, Tupac, my brother, was king of the hill, top dog, king of rap. And with it comes a lot of envy, jealousy, and, you know, all types of things. And all I can make of it is there were groups of people who were jealous and envious and full of hate.
There were two shootings involving a brother. One he survived, one he sadly did not survive. There was this whole East Coast, West Coast war. There have been books about this, documentary films about this, dramatized movies about this. Do you think we know the truth? You said your family's launched an investigation into what happened to your brother. Do you think there are still a lot of unanswered questions?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's been an ongoing mystery for 27 years. You know, with the arrest in Vegas, there was a break. There was an opportunity to get closer to the truth. This is, you know, this is ongoing business for us. My Mama Faney pursued an investigation early on, soon after his murder, in which nothing came of it. So we were left with no answers. No answers for 27 years. Now we might have an opportunity to get some answers.
The first time that Tupac was shot, where were you and how did you hear about that? And what was your feeling instinctively about who may have been behind it?
When Pac got shot the first time, I was in Atlanta. I was worried about him because he did, he rocked a lot of jewelry. We like jewelry, rocked a lot of jewelry, but New York is notoriously known for being a home of the stick-up kid. And I advised him not to, be out there like that. And so I thought that it might just have been a robbery for his possessions, and it seems like there was more to it. We also felt that Pac was safe in New York because we are from New York, and we had a lot of friends and allies there at the time that we felt would look out for Pac. So, we were quite confused.
We've got a clip of Tupac talking about the potential involvement of Diddy, or Puff Daddy as he was at the time, in that shooting, that first shooting. Let's take a look.
I think Puffy was involved in the shooting.
Only they can answer that question. Right. I have my own opinion, but I wouldn't slander their name like they did mine. Right. I wouldn't say things that I knew, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I believe so. I do believe so. I have proved things that I could say that will back up my claim, but this is not for the world to know about. You know what I mean? It's between me and him, and only he knows.
When you watched that, do you think he was basically saying he did think that Diddy was involved but didn't want to say so publicly?
Pac had suspicions of what had happened. But you know the saying, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. And we've been, stuck in that position for quite some time, trying to get to a place where we can prove what actually happened.
But is your belief now that Diddy may have been involved in that first shooting?
I don't know, Piers. I don't know. Thus the investigation. None of us know. This is the best way for us to get some answers, to have an actual investigation into his murder, regardless of who was responsible or the who's that were responsible. And each incident involved multiple people, planning, coordination, and we just been trying to get to the bottom of it for a long time.
But the reason there's so much speculation raging even today is that they were big rivals and there was a genuine, very bad feud, right?
It didn't start out that way. It didn't start out as rivals. That's why it's confusing. Pac was the big dog. At one time, we had plans to to work with Big. You know, Big was on one of the first outlaw records, Running from the Police. You know, it didn't start out that way. That's why we were all confused when Pac got touched in New York.
You must have talked to your brother about that. Did he confide in you any more thoughts about it?
He did, but you know how this game go. Until you could actually prove it, you can't hop out there and say it. So you know, Pac made it very clear of his suspicions, his instincts, and we're trying to find which direction was the right direction to go in for this investigation.
Do you believe, Mopreme, that the two shootings were absolutely linked, that the same people were behind both?
I can't say I can't speak of any absolutes, Piers.
No, is that your gut feeling?
I'm not sure.
Really?
I said I'm not sure.
No, I heard you. I just wondered whether that is really the case, or you're just reticent to say so.
I wasn't there at either incident.
Mm.
So that makes it very difficult for me to be, you know, sure about anything. It's been 27 years, all kind of suspicions, all kind of, you know, but until we could actually prove something, you know, and it's hard. I'm not a cop. I'm not an investigator. So we are going to the people who know how to get these answers.
50 Cent went on stage last year and said this. Let's take a look.
I hate when they leave me to talk because I always say the wrong thing. I always say the wrong thing. Last time they left me, I said something about Puffy. You saw that? You saw that clip? Yeah! I gotta stop doing that kind of shit. I've been talking to a therapist trying to help me with the shit I'm saying. I said crazy shit in my mouth for no reason. Oh wait, maybe I said that shit because he got Tupac killed.
Oh, and that was pretty direct there from 50 Cent.
Yes, it was. You know, yes, it was. Fifth is from, you know, me and him actually from the same neighborhood, Southside Jamaica. He a Queens dude. We from Queens, and you know, he's from New York. So certain people are privy to information, and we're just trying to get some confirmation on these suspicions. You know, everybody's got a theory, you know, and we're wading through the theories.
Let me ask you a different. Let me ask you a different way, Mopreme, because I think I understand why you're being cautious. I understand why you're hiding. Not hiding, but you're using the investigation as a reason.
I'm right here.
No, I don't mean hiding. I'll take back the word hiding, but why you're reticent again about potentially saying what is really on your mind. Because you know, and I know, that everyone believes that Diddy was involved in both these shootings and had a direct involvement in your brother's death. That is what the streets have said for 27 years. That's why 50 Cent said it. That's why Eminem has said similar stuff. What's interesting to me about your involvement in this is that Diddy actually called you after an LA Times article in 2008 alleging he'd been involved in your brother's death. What did he say that day when he called you?
He was in town. He was in LA at the time. He was on the radio. He asked a local DJ that we all know, Big Boy, to reach out to me because he wanted to speak to me about something. This is a few years after Pac's murder, and you know, we all were familiar with all the rumors and stuff. I said, yeah, let me talk to him. So he called me, and you know, I had my guys with me, Thug Life guys, and we heard what he had to say. He basically said he ain't have nothing to do with my brother's murder. And I told him the truth is still yet to come out, so we're gonna see. Here we are 27, 28 years later. Looks like there's some doubt in that statement. So, thus, you know, along with all the other suspicions that people have, you know, it was time for it to be investigated.
In a statement at the time, Diddy declared, "This story is a lie," the LA Times story. "Neither I nor the late Notorious had any knowledge of any attack on Tupac before, during, or after it happened." Do you think that was an honest statement?
My opinion is that I don't believe it was a 100% honest statement. So, again, got to find out what's true and what's false, what's real and what's fake.
Do you think he was lying?
Quite possibly, and it's kind of looking that way, in my opinion.
It seems to me your opinion is that Diddy absolutely has something to do with your brother's death.
I never said that. I never said that. And this is why it needs to be looked into. A lot of people have suspicions about multiple people. Again, in both attacks involve multiple people. Both attacks involve multiple people. And it's about figuring out who's who.
Would you be comfortable saying that you believe Diddy had nothing to do with it?
No, I wouldn't be comfortable saying that because I don't know. If you look at all the theories, the theory involving him is quite high on the list.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're going to see. Like I told him, we going to see.
Why do you think there is so much suspicion around Diddy's involvement in Tupac's killing?
Because of the relationship, our relationship in the early days, how the relationship soured, the climate of the hip hop world at the time, the so-called East Coast, West Coast beef. There's a whole lot of reasons. And, you know, us, my brother and I, our movement, we were at the top of the game, and they were right behind us. So, you know, heavy is the head that wears the crown. People always want to, are after the person that's on top. So there's a lot of reasons to have these theories and suspicions, and they just need to be vetted and fully vetted and figure out what's what. My family is still suffering fallout from the assassination of my brother's murder. You know, which nobody really cares about us. Me, my sister, you know, my brothers, and, you know, our family. You know, we still suffer. So, you know, the struggle continues on finding out the truth.
Where were you when you heard that your brother had been killed, and how did you find out?
I had found out he got shot. I was at my house in California, in Palmdale. I got a call from my homie Big Psych, and he told me what had happened, and then I drove out to Vegas within hours to be with him.
Did you manage to see him before he actually died?
Yes, I got to see him before he actually passed. At the hospital in Vegas, you know, a lot of family, a lot of loved ones was there. We proceeded to set up some security around the hospital, and I left like I had my newborn daughter with me, so I had to go back home and take care of her. And by the time I got back to LA, they said that he had passed away. So I thought he was going to make it. He's a strong dude, but he did not.
You've suggested before that you felt he was trying to say something to you before he died.
Yeah. He, we had been in the business together since day one. I could tell when he was really trying to express something and tell me something. His eyes were big as saucers. He had tubes in his mouth. He was all wrapped up, but he was still shaking the bed. He really wanted to tell me something, but he couldn't speak, you know. And yes, I often wonder what he was trying to tell me, but I don't know. I'm assuming it was something that had to do with the hit. But it's another one of them unanswered questions.
Have people told you directly who you think may know who they think did this?
People often want to share their suspicions and thoughts with me about it. It's a lot to think about. My brother was loved and admired and adored by many people, you know, because really the fans been begging and asking for the truth. The fans want these answers as well. And my brother was quite prolific. He dealt with a lot of different people. He talked to people across all lanes of, you know, all occupations, different kinds of artists. He touched a lot of people. He knew a lot of people. So a lot of people had a lot of theories. He also pissed a lot of people off. I'm not denying that, but, you know.
How did you feel about the arrest of Duane Davis last year?
I felt I was shocked that there was arrest after 27 years. I was real curious why now. Why only him? There's a lot of questions I had, you know, which, you know, a lot of it didn't make a lot of sense to me, being that it had been so long and these individuals had been known about for quite some time. So I was quite confused. This is out of Las Vegas PD. You know, I hadn't heard from them. I don't think anybody from the family really heard from them and had heard from them in years. So, you know, there's some factors moving things that we didn't know about. So there's a lot of curiosity.
The Keefe D has alleged that Diddy orchestrated and paid $1 million for the assassination of your brother. He's made that allegation in a book, in social media interviews, in a secret police interview with the LAPD. What do you make of that?
I've heard all these things too. And now it has to be determined what's true, what's not, what's exaggeration, what's hyperbole, what's, you know, what's what. and who all was involved, because he's the only one sitting in jail right now. You know, by all accounts, New York and Las Vegas, groups of people were involved. You know, 3 or more in each case. So, you know, what about everybody else?
Diddy's longtime West Coast sparring partner, Suge Knight, tweeted from jail, "Justice for Tupac is coming, Keefe D and now Diddy." That was pretty unambiguous.
Yeah, like I said, Piers, is, you know, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. So that's the point where we're at right now. A lot of people think it's him. A lot of people have other theories, and it all has to be vetted. This is 27, 28 years of rumors as well. You know what I mean? So hopefully we'll get some justice.
It's believed that your family believe that Keefe D's nephew, Orlando Anderson, who's now dead, actually pulled the trigger to kill Diddy, that Keefe D acquired the gun, Orlando shot it, and that Diddy ordered the hit. That is the, I believe, the belief from your family. Is that an accurate assessment of where you all think the main suspicion should lie?
That's the theory. That's the theory. And if that's the theory, other moves should have been made legally before by law enforcement, which were not. You know, this is, if Keefe was in the car, why wasn't he arrested then? So you know, I'm not a cop. I'm not a detective, investigator. You know, we just, you know, unless I see it with my own eyes, it's hard to say. So that was the theory, and it was pursued legally, and I think Mama Fanny lost in court. So what's that telling us? That she's wrong? And if she's wrong, we're left with no answers until 27 years later. Here's another opportunity to possibly get some answers.
Diddy himself appeared on the Breakfast Club Power in April 2016 with Charlemagne the God, who asked him about a documentary that alleged he was involved in Tupac's murder. I think we got a clip of this.
Now, it was this documentary that claimed, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah, check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So we're not even going to go there, with all due respect, but I appreciate you as a journalist asking. Thank you.
Because listen, 7 years ago, I'd have been like, yo, did you hire somebody to kill Pac? But no, you do it like a journalist.
Yeah, no, I mean, we wouldn't even get into nonsense like that. You know what I'm saying? It's nonsense.
Which we never believed, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you think it's nonsense?
Yo, we gonna see. Just like I told him, we gonna see. People say a lot of things that are often not true, or often deception, or often designed to throw people off the trail. So we gonna see. I'm not saying nothing until this investigation is over, and then we'll see what it is. But everybody knows the suspicions. Everybody knows the theories. He could say that all he wants to, but people, especially now, are thinking that it might be possible. We're gonna see.
I get the feeling quite strongly that you don't believe Diddy when he's denied any involvement to you. I don't think you believe him when he says it's nonsense on the Breakfast Club interview, or when he issued that statement about the LA Times article. I don't think you believe a word of it. And I think that part of you, and correct me if I'm wrong, now that Diddy is in a prison cell and is facing the full arm of the law on very serious charges, that may be the catalyst for why you as a family have decided to really up the legal ante now. Would that be an accurate assessment of where we are?
No, we have nothing to do with his current situation with the sex trafficking. I have nothing to do with none of that. None of that. Our issues were prior to that. The fact this Keefe D dude got arrested. He's a known associate of Combs. That's just the fact. So, you know, Stevie Wonder could see that.
Right. Well, exactly. That's really the point, isn't it? That if
it ain't our fault, you know.
If a known associate of Sean Combs has been arrested and is facing charges of first-degree murder, that would suggest that Diddy was involved, wouldn't it?
That would suggest that it should be investigated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That suggests that it should be looked into, along with all the other theories. You know.
Would you say it's the most likely theory, Mopreme? Of all the theories you've heard?
Most likely, between a few theories, it's high on the list.
How do you think you're going to get to the truth? I know you've hired a lawyer, Alex Spiro, very well-known, aggressive lawyer. Is this part of a concerted effort now to actually get to the truth? And how do you think that will emerge?
Yes, this is a concerted effort to get to the truth of my brother's murder, wherever it may lead. Wherever it may lead, you know what they say, innocent until proven guilty. Okay, so we're at that point trying to prove things, trying to prove our theories, either prove them or disprove them, and stop them from cluttering the information pool.
But why make the move this week?
That's what's so interesting. We announced, Quinn Emanuel announced a few months ago. That's why it's interesting that it's resurfacing. I guess it's because of Combs' current situation, but that relationship been there for 20 years with Keefe. So, you know, it's not new. Since the arrest, you know, like I said, since the arrest, it's given us the opportunity to pursue the truth and answers.
What's your view of P. Diddy, of Sean Combs? What do you think of him personally?
I don't. I don't. Until recently. It's just a shame. It's just a shame. The brother obviously has some skills and some talent, but when my brother passed away, it seems like he got a whole bunch of power, and like absolute power, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So we gonna see. We gonna see.
Do you think he either is or became a bad person?
See, I don't have too much personal experience with him. It's around people that I know. I knew Biggie personally, you know what I mean? And his interactions with them and other people is the only way I can really judge him, and by our conversation. And, you know, I don't think the best of the dude, but I don't have no proof. So we're going to see.
If he happens to watch this interview, what's your message to Sean Combs, to Diddy?
Same thing it was, 20 years ago, you know. We gonna see. We gonna see. Because he reached out to me personally to, you know, give his denial or his position. And, you know, things look different at this point. So we're gonna see.
You don't believe those denials, do you, Mopreme?
I have my doubts. I have my doubts.
If he did order this hit on your brother, and he's now sitting in that prison cell, would you urge him to come clean?
I don't think that he will. I wouldn't urge him to come clean because I don't think that he will. But if the proof is there, that'll satisfy me. If we find the truth, the proof, that'll satisfy me because I don't expect he will quote unquote come clean.
But if he did feel that way inclined, would you like him, to be honest?
That would be great. That would be great. That would be great to put a lot of things to rest, explain the reasoning. Was it fear? Was it, you know, money? Was it business? It could be all types of reasons, but it would be good. It would be good to know.
Mopreme, it's been a fascinating interview. I completely understand why you are careful in the way you answer these questions. But I also think any viewer that's watched this for the last 30-odd minutes will draw the same conclusion that I do, which is that you absolutely believe Diddy has something to do with your brother's murder, and you want the truth to prevail.
You said it, not me, Piers. That's your opinion, and I must be very careful. You know, this is a sensitive topics, sensitive subjects, and I wanted your audience and my fans across the pond to have some quality information. A lot of people love, respect, and care for my brother and for us as Shakurs. We are an international family. We've influenced people around the world, and Pac wasn't a throwaway. You know, Pac wasn't expendable. He was important. He was special. You know, he's the greatest of all time. Even if you had issues or problems with him, he didn't deserve that. So we will stay in pursuit of the truth.
Do you fear Diddy and what he is capable of, even if he's in a prison cell?
Me?
Yeah.
No. I mean, I ain't Superman and shit. Excuse my French, but I'm thug life, outlaw, immortal. I'm from Southside Jamaica, Queens. I got a lot. I try to stay in my lane. I try to stay respectful. Try to stay humble. But you know, people they know me. People know me. They know what it is.
Mopreme, fascinating to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed for your time.
You as well, Mr. Morgan. Much love to my people over there in England, London.
And well, very good accent. And I hope we get to the truth about what happened to your brother, because he's an absolute icon in music history, and what happened to him matters. It's a piece of history. So I hope that you, as a family, get the answers to the questions that you have been raising.
Thank you. You and I as well. You and I as well.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.